So everything in the manifest universe is in constant motion, movement. Nothing stays the same for more than a billionth of a second. So in terms of this manifestation, the one thing that is constant is change. I remember a teaching that Natone gave one time, and when she was talking about when things got intense or strange or disturbed, she said this many times in a teaching. She'd say, you know, she goes, I would just remember we're spinning in space, and that would pretty much do it. And there is such a profound teaching there. Because we do seek to stabilize certain things in our lives. And it occurred to me, rather than to think about, because it's really the finite or ordinary mind that has things in a stuck or place, right? There's no problem with that. Here's the grocery list. Here's that. But to actually consider, rather than having something concrete or stable, rather to consider flow. To consider flow, the constancy of the flow of which things arise, abide, and even pass away. So in this awareness, or in this, so since everything is in motion, consciousness, the arising consciousness is constantly moving. The mind also moves in thought, projection. And I saw something very interesting on mind recently, that mind is essentially a sum total of a succession of consciousness that is characterized by will, thought, and feeling. Mind gets a bad rap in awakening, or in terms of that. It's this thing of like constantly wanting to have the mind be quiet. Quiet mind is great, because in quiet mind there is revelation, there can be revealing, there can be intuition, understanding, and recognition. These aspects of the luminous or illuminating mind. Because even in terms of silence or in being quiet, I had seen something very interesting on silence recently. Silence meaning that you are silencing and coming into awareness of the afflictive aspect and obscuring aspect of mind, which we've been through and seen so many times: negative emotions, afflictive emotions, and the things that are the obstacles to presence, to being purely present. The pure presence in the midst of the changing, the pure consciousness, which is why Nisargadatta always saying over and over, and Natone always saying over and over, awareness as the path, or pure consciousness. So consciousness is the capacity to know. Consciousness is the capacity of knowledge of this I amness. That pure cognition is that which is fully present in everything that is changing. And that's why to constantly recognize that this I amness, staying with this presence, is the essential key to actually coming into a level of mastery of the mind, which is and for the whole time that we are embodied, we are participating in this consciousness. And so to come into, this is why even the positive aspects are emphasized in many, you can say philosophies or even religions, compassion, patience, love, kindness, even a sense of attentive discipline. Because those aspects keep the mind in its more pure place. And will, spiritual will, is active, intelligent purpose, lovingly applied. Active, intelligent purpose, lovingly applied. So this rolled in for me today for some reason, in the sense that, and it could be also I had been interacting with some people, new people lately, and it's really important to not avoid. It is important that the spiritual path, or whatever that journey is, be one of non-avoidance in this line. Natone was always, always, Natone was always putting the consciousness, always putting awareness on whatever needed to be seen or understood or looked at, right? So to fully engage every aspect of ourselves and every aspect of everything of this continuous change, this continually changing. So the question or the consideration is, what is the relationship to change? How do we relate to change? Because there's an aspect that is not changing within us. And then there is the arising, changing. So often we're resisting change or whatever is arising. Man, and I hate to pare it down so dang simple, but you know what? It's just really simple. It's conflicted desire. Desire and fear. And they piggyback a little bit. But basically, when we have conflicting desires, desire and fear, this is the movement of the finite or the thinking mind, which potentially can obscure the pure consciousness, the pure knowingness. And that's why even in meditation practice, Maharaj, you stay with the I am. You stay with this sense of I amness, this sense of presence, or recognizing, in the Tibetan system, recognizing awareness in between thought, coming into this space of awareness. And in the sense of the universe, the entire universe being in constant motion. And these little bodies are part of that. This is part of the movement. All of this is all part of this singular movement of the universe. So even in terms of nature, We have the earth, we have all of these things going on in nature. We are part of that. We are affected by the movement of nature and elements, as the elements are affected. Humanity is affecting nature, and nature is affecting humanity. But when we come into this broader view of that, it begs a slightly different perspective. It shifts a view. And so we can say, even in terms of unfolding or ultimate awakening, this kind of thing, this is why Jean said, Maharaj says, you have to go through the consciousness. You have to go through the consciousness. Everybody's wanting that absolute blow. I'm going to be, something's going to happen. I'm going to be super, super still. And then, I'm not going to be, it's not until the nature of all of this, which as Natone has said, in order to be fully free, you need to understand the nature of everything. You need to understand the nature and substance of everything. And the way you really, really start to do that is to understand the nature and substance of your own mechanism, your own mind, and all that. And that's why they start with meditation in various ways to be, to be in this truth of being. Because this is absolute, because the presence of being is absolute total simplicity. And it is that total simplicity that points to the complexity, that is aware of the complexity, that is recreated and reified. So the mind is giving substance. The mind is giving substance. The mind is giving substance and giving life. So the attention and mind gives life. So whatever we energize with our mind, that's what we're giving life to. Whatever we're energizing in our feeling, the feeling nature, that's the experience of life. That's the experience. Right? So, yeah. So to nurture, which is why we're so fortunate to be able to even come and sit here just for this space and time, to give the space of awareness and the energy, the movement, in the buoyancy of that.